A prominent Irish survivor of priestly sexual abuse wants strong sanctions to hold accountable bishops and Vatican officials who fail to protect children.
We know in America that safeguarding procedures there are very strong and they're backed by canon law, but that's the only place in the world. And I think we've got to push for that to be put in everywhere. And I believe the laity now must also go along and accompany the survivors in speaking out.
Mari Collins is a former member of the Holy Father's Abuse Advisory Board. Tracy Harkin of EWTN Ireland caught up with her earlier today. Tracy joins us from Dublin now. She's covering the meeting for the network. Tracy, what does Mari Collins want to see happen?
Mari Collins is a former member, as you know, of the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors. She spoke at the press conference today. Her words were quite strong, Mark. She said that anyone who stands in the way of the protection of children in terms of not reporting crimes also needs to be accountable as well. She said she welcomed the letter of Pope Francis, but that she's looking for more concrete steps. And it's her hope that Pope Francis will address the concrete steps that need to be put in place in his address at the World Meeting of Families at the weekend.
Now, Cardinal Sean O'Malley, the Pope's top advisor on clergy sex abuse, was expected to head this panel in Dublin, but he stayed home. O'Malley launched an investigation into his diocesan seminary and removed its rector after reports of sexual misconduct went public. He did send a letter to the conference. What was his message?
His message, Mark, was very much firstly to apologise for not being there in person and to head up this panel on safeguarding children. He talked about that centrally we need to be thinking about the victims, about children, and he talked about the importance of the role of the laity in terms of to be on safeguarding commissions, and he said that that's really, really important. He said also that moving forward, any of the church's evangelisation and outreach initiatives will really be dependent on the church's ability to own up to their crimes and their failings.
The Vatican's ambassador to Syria was there. He spoke today. Syria in the midst of a bloody civil war, now in its 7th year. How did he describe the situation?
It was such a poignant address from the Cardinal today. He talked about this often forgotten war. He talked about the 33% of Syrian families that have lost homes. He talked about the importance of family and that when a family loses its home, it loses its very heart. And he talked about the church being a field hospital together with other humanitarian organisations in Syria to offer love and mercy at this critical time.
Pope Francis arrives in Dublin tomorrow. How are preparations going and what's his schedule?
Well, Mark, Dublin is ready for Pope Francis. Driving along our motorways, the signs are up, Pope's visit. There's massive security procedures in operation. There's stalls selling papal flags. There's a real excitement and buzz in the air. People know that this is a very important visit, an historic visit, and the excitement is palpable at this time. His itinerary is really packed. He arrives tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, where he will meet with the President of Ireland, the Taoiseach, our political leader, and other politicians. He will then go to St Mary's Pro Cathedral, where he'll meet newlywed couples. Then he will also call into the Capuchin Centre for the Homeless right in the heart of Dublin. And then, of course, in the evening, it's the Festival of Families, which is often seen as the real highlight in this World Meeting of Families.
Packed schedule indeed. Tracy Harkin, EWTN Ireland, thank you for all your coverage.
Thank you, Mark.
Stay with EWTN all weekend as Pope Francis attends the World Meeting of Families. You can see the schedule and learn more about the event at EWTN.com/WMOF.